Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie, and Stan Lee made his illustrious debut on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they introduced a major character from the comic books. It's not a two-parter, but the next episode is a direct continuation because there was a big cliffhanger. Since a lot of you in the UK and other international countries won't see this for a little while, careful for potential spoilers if you don't already know who that comic book character is. So let's start with our top 5 moments and then I'll do my review. Number 5, May's Wheels Up. I'm talking about the whole reverse storyline aspect of the episode. I thought it added a really nice touch to the story, and it was so much fun watching what happened to May after she got knocked off that train. Did you notice that May story was bookended by Ward's sex talk with Coulson? I got the sense that they really wanted us to visually connect May's intensity with her relationship with Ward, especially that torture scene, which made it a little bit freaky, but it's a nice reversal to see a female character like her be so aggressive. I've always been a huge fan of Ming-Na, so it's awesome to see her get to have so much fun on the show. As an added bonus, her character really does get all the best action scenes. Number 4, Stan the Man cameo. In true comic book fashion, Stan Lee serves as the moral message of the episode. His comment to Coulson, "You've made mistakes, but you can do better," is really just a generic theme for all the characters and the audience, particularly Mike Peterson's character. Stan Lee was actually really notable for including those morals in his comic book stories whenever he was editor at Marvel. Number 3, Strangers on a Train. Coulson and Simmons' epic blowout was a lot of fun to watch. I liked how they paid off Fitz's earlier jokes about how she is the queen of homework. The look on Coulson's face when she said prostitutes was priceless though. I can just see the Twitter hashtags now, prostitute face. Number 2, Simmons and Skye are pretty dead. Not one, but almost 2 deaths. There were maybe 3 game-changing events in this episode, and the Skye and Simmons almost deaths were 2 of them. Simmons is just frozen as a result of that night-night gun gas, but Skye is bleeding out. I actually expected her to manifest a power in that post-credits teaser, so it looks like she doesn't have any resurgence abilities. My earlier theory, and the one I'm still leaning on, is that she's a technopath, because I think it'll have something to do with a clairvoyant. And my number 1 moment, no surprise here, Mike Peterson becomes Deathlock. I like the way they explain how he's Deathlock, basically just by using that cybernetic leg. In the comic books, the character is really more machine than man, Darth Vader style, but they opted to make J. August Richards, as an actor, look more realistic. I'm actually calling that the Tyrion Lannister move. It's when a show dramatically reduces injuries or alterations to a character that would make them have to wear these crazy prosthetics or use special effects. They did incorporate some of the storyline from the Michael Collins Deathlock in the comic books. He had his brain put in a cybernetic body and was being controlled by the machine parts. Eventually he gained control of his body and then became a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Honorable mention goes to Coulson laying the smackdown on Ward. If you remember, he had that Emil Blonsky shout out. That's the Hulk villain called the Abomination. The last person to play that character was Tim Roth during Incredible Hulk. Let me know what your favorite moment was, and do you think this guy is going to manifest a power in that next episode? Personally, the high point for me was watching Mike Peterson become Deathlock, or maybe Coulson prostitute face. Overall, this is one of the strongest episodes of the season. I love the narrative structure and the way they told a lot of the story in reverse. They were able to go really easily from laugh out loud funny on the train to almost killing 2 of the most lovable, harmless female characters on the show. It's like Joss Whedon hurting Willow on Buffy. She seems so harmless, so it twists you up so much when you almost see them die. Technically, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't a Joss Whedon show, but if you're ever watching something he did and you really start to love a character, start to worry, because something really bad is probably about to happen to them. I guess you could also call that pulling a George R.R. Martin. Game of Thrones shout out. Stan Lee's cameo felt totally appropriate. He does kind of seem like he's been play acting Hugh Hefner in a lot of his most recent cameos, but the moral message he delivered was very true to what he used to do in the comic books. One of my favorite things about the episode is how Mike Peterson's arc just became one of the most important things on the show. He'll be critical to them defeating the clairvoyant, but he started as this throwaway extremist cameo. So I'm expecting something similar to happen to Skye. She's still in the middle of that moment of horror, when Mike Peterson woke up in the bed missing a couple limbs. So expect Skye's character to undergo a fundamental change once she recovers. I'm hoping that means that she finds out what her powers are and starts to use them. It's like the show just told us the only way to survive is evolve, and sometimes that means becoming a cyborg, sometimes it means manifesting special powers. That is why I love science fiction so much. Big announcement though, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will not be back until March 4th because Olympics, but when it does come back, Bill Paxton is guest starring as Agent John Garrett. Think of him as like a cybernetic version of his character Hicks from Aliens, with less wisecracking. In related news, they have also made some major casting announcements for the Flash TV show. I'm going to do a special video for that on Thursday. Be sure to subscribe to get it. It's going to be really exciting. I'm getting so pumped for that show. Right now, click here to get last week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and click here to get my latest Arrow video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. High fives.